Alright, so today I'll cover some tips about how to complete tutorial 9 question 4. So to start with, let's just read on the question first. So complete the program below that reads send 3 messages into a character array, message and maximum length using a for loop. And then here we can make use of getLine function. And later on then it calls the user define the function print reverse. It means call function. So how we call the function. And that print out message one by one in last in first out sequence. And also for the character in each message, they were displayed in reverse order. And we can make use of string length to determine the length. Another hint, message I is the address of the ith row of the 2D array. So let's take a look to the sample program first. Okay, so to start with, what we have a message and message is 3 and the maximum length is 80. So what it means is that we got a matrix that is 3 by 80. So in other words, in the memory, what we have message. In terms of message, it is a 2-dimensional array. It means that there were a lot of columns, and in terms of row, there would be 3 different rows. So in total, the last one is 79 in terms of column. The first one we start with 0. Alright, and then actually for a 2-dimensional array, we can refer to them for 3 different ways. The first way, by making use of name message only. So when we make use of message, it means the starting point of all of those. Because for message, it is an array and it stores the address of the whole array. And in case we would like to take one single row out of there, just like the hints has said, we can make use of message I. So in other words, we can make use of message and then square 0 to refer to whole line for the first line. Certainly we can also make use of say message and then 1 to refer to the whole line. And because for the whole line it is a character array, it means that it is a C string. So each one can turn to be a string. The last one certainly is message 2 as well. So that is the very first part, we get to know it. And now the first part is we put some code into there so that we can read in all those 3 different lines. So at here we should make use of for loop. And then for inside the for loop we can make use of what we say. We can make use of the getLine. So here we can make use of the cin.getLine. Alright. So in other words, in the for loop, what we should have is the cin.getLine. In case you don't know how to use it, you can take a look to the lecture notes. It is about the C string. So the name of the C string, that is a variable. After that, it is a size. So in other words, how many characters that we can put into that. And then finally, what is the delimiter? And a usual one is \n, which means enter. So we read the whole line by the end. So that is part 1. Read in the message. And then part 2. For part 2, what we have is that we would like to call the user function, that is part 2. So in other words, now we were given the following function: print reverse and then a character of two-dimensional array. So in there we should call the function. So call this particular function. So here one of the reminder is that for the parameter, it is a two-dimensional array. So for message, there were three different ways to use the two-dimensional array. So when we call a function for two-dimensional array, we can just use the name. So this one will give the whole two-dimensional array into the function. The other way, when we put one square bracket into the function, say for example 0, then it turns to be one single line. It means in terms of parameter list, this one will turn to be character ampersand. So when we call the first one, in terms of parameter, it is a character and then square bracket, and then after that, in this example, it is 80. Alright. So the last one, in case we are just looking for one character out there, then for one single character, we can call it, say for example, this one is message, and then 1 and 79 for the very last character. So 179. So again, there were three different ways to pass the argument into the function. First one, two-dimensional array. Second one, one-dimensional array. Last one, one single character. So again, three different parameters for three different calling methods. So now you can try it out to print it. Last part, your code for print reverse. So in the beginning, we have this prototype, and now we would like to turn the prototype into the definition. So in other words, we copy the whole prototype, give a name for the variable, change the semicolon into curly brace, and start programming. So now the only question is, how do we program and what is expected out there? So from the previous part 1, so for part 1 we have done the following. Oops. Oops. So for part 1 we have done the following. Part 1 we have print out the input. So in other words, part 1 we just have the input out there. So in other words, for part 1 we did this part. So that is part 1, the for loop, to read in all those good morning, good how are you, good morning and good afternoon. And then out there we should make use of a for loop. And now the other way around, so when we print it out, we would like to print out those two lines, and then after that, at here, we would like to make use of yet another for loop. But then for both of these, it should be part of the print reverse. Alright, so here we would like to print it reverse. In other words, in terms of the line, it should start from the end to the beginning. And for the one single line, this one is the first line, how are you doing, and then question mark. Now we print it from the back to the front. So in terms of the array, so what we have inside the array, so once this one is the input, then we should have the following content put into the array. So in other words, now we should have the array storing all this. And then it should be stored inside message 0. Now how we would like to print it, we would like to print from the end back to the front. For the front, obviously in terms of character, it is the 0. The last one, we got say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Probably this one is 18. So now our our requirement out there is that we would like to start from the 18th character, print back to the character 0. So in other words, that here for I, that is on which different line, and then after that we may need to make another loop, say for j. For j, we would like to start from the n back to the 0. But then the only question is, how can we get to know the n? Because each time we have a different length. So this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So this one is 13 in terms of length. So in other words, for the j, it will change in terms of length. It doesn't mean 80 each time. It can be 18, it can be 13, it can be say 15. So now we need to make use of string length. So with the string length, which we gave them a character array, it means that for the string we can get to know how long it is. So for the string, it means that it is the one-dimensional array that we have. So now put together, that is how we print it for the question 4. Not very complicated, just need some time to get around for the for loop, to get all the message, and then get to know how to refer to one single line for one string, or one single character for a two-dimensional array to access one single character. And finally, how we make use of the string length to get the length. So good luck to you, and then that's it for tutorial 9, question 4.